Well, welcome to my new video, guys. Thanks for checking this out. I'm Jay from rightsprite.co.uk. Something's going on. Yes, and this is going to be my very first, come on, video that I've done with pickups. So I do hope that you enjoy this. Now this is just a fair few of the... What? Nah. Sorted. Well, as I was saying, these are just a few of the titles that I've been picking up through lockdown. I do recommend some of these games. They are pretty awesome. So I've stated in other videos, here's some of the Xbox games that I've been after. I've just got a pile of games here to show you guys. So my first one being Enslaved. I managed to pick this up finally. And yeah, I saw this game over in Greece and this was going for about 60 euros. In a second-hand video game shop, and I was just like, wow, I've never seen the limited edition before of one of my favorite games for that generation of console, but 60 quid is too much. And then not too long ago I did see one of these for almost £15 over in a local CX store, so I was like, I'm grabbing this. Now this edition does include the Talented Pack, as we opened up here. So it includes the original game, and it comes with a book that has been written by the same person who wrote the story of the game, was being very inspired by, called The Tesseract by Alex Garland. So we can even give this a good read to that really inspired the game of how it was developed. And it came with an original soundtrack, which is awesome. I do love getting original soundtracks and blurring that out through my hi-fi. So I was pretty awesome and pretty excited that I actually got one of these now. The next one I'm going to show you is another collector's edition, because these collector's edition are going pretty cheap these days. So I was pretty excited to grab the Fable 3 limited edition, and this is a hard case. It's inspired by like an old medieval type of book, and I'm pretty excited about this. I never really got into the Fable series. Obviously it was huge and popular for the 360 era. Now Lionhead Studios now have left the Fable project, but has now been taken over, and we've recently had the unveil of a new Fable game. The trailer came out for the new Xbox showcase that recently came out, so I'm pretty excited to get into the Fable series for the first time. Now there's not much explained with the new series, but I'm pretty excited to get into this, and what's included is a pretty awesome design. If we open this up, you will see the original game on the front, and when you pull down the flap from the base of it, you can pull down a secret compartment that reveals collectible cards and a collectible coin. So you flip it over and it has red and blue side. That's inspired and is featured in the main game. So with the hype with the new one actually coming out for the Xbox Series X, I'm pretty excited to get into the Fable series. Now the next one I'll be unveiling to you guys, which I recently picked up, some Wii games. Yeah, Wii don't really have much going on with the Wii section, but these are two titles I do recommend, and personally I'm just a big fan of the Tenchu series. Now, it was actually made by the original creators of the very first two games, I believe. So and then later on they did get developed by another company, so I was really intrigued by this when it originally was out, but then when it got announced for the Wii, I just left it. I was like, no, I've never really touched that console in that generation of gaming. But this is the only way to actually play this game on a full screen, because there was a PSP port, but this one does actually enable you to get it onto your main screen. So I'm pretty excited to dwell into Tenchu 4. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that one. The next one is a arcade collection by Sega. Now these are two arcade classic games. The first one is called Gunblade Special Air Assault Force, New York. And then the next game is LA Machine Guns, Rage of the Machines. So I never actually seen these arcades, actually these units in any theme parks or any bowling centers. So I've really like this as a Sega arcade bundle. I thought it would be awesome to actually hook up, and you can get your nunchucks controller inspired as one of the original arcade guns. Now the next two titles is something that I kind of picked up prior to lockdown, but I thought I mentioned because this was the final games I picked up just before it, when I visited to Scotland. Now you can actually check out my little retro gaming tour video that I'll just post up here for you guys, where I went around to Scotland and just kind of tracked down some retro gaming stores for you guys. Now this is the two that I picked up from one of them, and so I got Code Veronica X for the first time, and I was glad to pick that one up. And Sega GT, never owned that, and this was Sega's version of the Gran Turismo that was exclusive to PlayStation, so I was pretty excited to get this into my collection as well. The next two games up are for the PlayStation 3. So my first one I'd like to show you guys is Folklore. Now this originally came out from the release of the PlayStation 3. I believe it was one of the release titles, and everyone didn't really try and jump on board with this. I don't know why, because it does look awesome, but there was a lot more intriguing games to pick up, especially on the release. So I managed to actually finally pick this up, a very Irish folklore based, very Celtic type of theme, so I don't know why I haven't picked that up already. The gameplay does run smooth and it does look pretty awesome, so I want to put some more time in this, but I do have quite a lot of backlog. So let me guys know if you guys have actually played this game, and do you recommend it yourself? Now the next one I'd like to show you guys is for the PlayStation 3, is one that was very expensive on the time of release and had very bad reviews, so I never actually got on board with picking this up until recently, and this was the third in the Drakengard series. Now a lot of people may not even know about this title, but Drakengard was actually made by the same creator of Nier Automata, which was an awesome big hit for the PlayStation 4, and perhaps is one of the biggest games for the PlayStation 4. So now I actually wanted to try and build up my collection from that director, which I do have the very first two games and the first Nier, and I think we're actually going to get a HD remaster of Nier. This is the only one I actually haven't had in my collection, so I'm pretty intrigued to give this a go, even though the reviews were very bad. But I'm going to give this my time and see if it actually got anything decent to deliver. Anyway, the last game that I'm going to show you guys is pretty big at the moment, and I never really go after new games because I do like to wait for them to be reviewed. But this one had just hit the ball out of the park, and a lot of people have been saying some awesome things, and this is Ghost of Tsushima. Now this is a game that was actually developed by Sucker Punch, which originally developed the Infamous series for the PlayStation 3 and the original Sly Raccoon. And this, by American company, as a Japanese theme, is never really done properly or even done at all, and the Japanese doesn't seem to like that. But this is the very first game that has been that was a huge Japanese themed game by American company that had their appraisal by a Japanese director, and that nonetheless was the director from Sega's Yakuza series. Now, and he did tweet this out, and he is a big supporter of this game. And so far, I've managed to rack up about 5 hours of gameplay, and I am pretty loving it. Especially the load times in this game is something quite next gen. I'm used to just kind of clicking on a part of a map with fast travel, for instance, and waiting about a minute or just less because of the scale of the game. But this just jumps from area to area really well, and it has been stated before that the actual historical facts are very quite true to it. And yeah, it's something that I've going to be putting a lot more hours into it, and I can't wait to see what more this game delivers for me. And my last pickup I'd like to show you guys is something I picked up just yesterday, in fact, from a guy, a good buddy of mine from school, and managed to sort me out with boxed Super Nintendo. Now this is probably one of the best pickups that I've had, so a big thanks to my buddy. I did do a review and an unboxing video that I just put in the link up there as well. Well, that brings me to the end of my very first pickup video for you guys. And as always, if you like this video, hit that button. If you want to help and support the channel, click subscribe, leave your comments below, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.